Price, who's going to be sharing some innovations in the services that Technology for Living provides. So I'm just going to introduce him for those who don't know who he is. Ean Price is a program manager and innovation strategist at Technology for Living, where he is dedicated to empowering people with disabilities through assistive technology. As the owner of a small tech company, Ean has a passion for fostering independence through innovation. With years of experience developing and working with a wide range of assistive technologies, he brings valuable insight and expertise to his role. Ean, who has spinal muscular atrophy type 4, is a strong advocate for accessibility and inclusive design. So I'll be passing it on to Ean to take over the presentation. If you have any questions at all or any comments, you can leave it in the chat, and I'll be watching that. And yeah, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. I'm really excited to share a little bit about Technology for Living and the services that we offer. So let's get started. As you mentioned, my name is Ean Price. I'm the Peer Program Manager and Innovation Strategist at Technology for Living. Our mission is to support individuals with limited mobility, permanent physical disabilities. We're here to help increase independence, inclusion, and well-being. We are a peer-driven organization, which I'm really proud of, and we serve all of British Columbia. So if you're anywhere in BC, we're happy to support you. The equipment that we provide is on a long-term loan to our members. So there's no charge for most of our equipment and all of our services. And we have three main programs. So first is our Provincial Respiratory Outreach Program, or PROP, where we provide respiratory equipment and services. So as an example, I use a ventilator, and that was provided by PROP. Second is our peer program, where we provide peer support, and we have lots of fun in person and virtual events throughout the province throughout the year. And finally, we have Technology for Independent Living, or TIL. And TIL is what I will be focusing primarily on today. And TIL provides a number of assistive technologies, including smart home devices. So for TIL, the program eligibility is very straightforward. You have to be 19 years of age or older, have limited mobility due to permanent physical disability, and be a resident of British Columbia. We also have our Youth Assistive Technology project, which serves youth age 9 to 18. So providing all of the same technology that that I'm going to be speaking about today to a younger age group. So what is smart home tech? Well, smart home technologies are gadgets and devices and home appliances which have internet connectivity built into them. This can be as simple as a light bulb, which turns on and off, to a complex network of several or dozens of devices which work in harmony. Imagine returning home from a long day out. Your phone uses its GPS system to alert your smart home that you're arriving home. The porch lights turn on. The temperature control system adjusts automatically to your preferred temperature. That's wonderful this time of year. The front door unlocks. The lights inside your home turn on, and the front door, or when the front door opens. Maybe an electric kettle starts to boil, and maybe your sound system starts to play your favorite radio station or podcast. All of this and so much more is possible with smart home technology. entirely customized to your routines and preferences. The beauty of smart home technology is that it completely bypasses physical buttons, switches, keys, and fobs. Most of the quote unquote magic of the smart home can happen automatically or at your command through various control methods. One of these control methods is using your voice. This is how I do it, and we provide a number of different ecosystems. So Amazon, Apple, Google, whatever you prefer, whatever works best for you. And this is a great way to control your smart home simply by saying, "Hey, so and so, maybe turn on the lights or adjust the thermostat." Really easy to use. You can also ask it questions like who's playing in the Stanley Cup game tonight. Those sorts of things. For those who are nonverbal, switch control is a very good solution. So there's a couple different ways to do it. We have these switches or buttons, which is like that big red button on the left there. And that's a very easy way for some of our members to control their smart home. But another way is using sip and puff, where there's a straw that you sip or puff into, and you're able to control devices like that. Now, while we don't provide phones and tablets, we do provide mounting for these devices, and that's really helpful for maybe mounting a phone to your wheelchair or a tablet to your bedside. And we have a number of different solutions available. RAM is a company that we use quite commonly, but definitely not the only solution. I think when I started with my first start smart home, I think the smart lighting was the coolest thing for me. I'd never been able to turn a light switch on or off before. And so for the first time in my 30s, being able to have that independence was absolutely mind blowing. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that I sat there for probably an hour or two turning a light bulb on and off by voice for the very first time, just because it was such a cool experience for me. And nowadays we also provide these motion sensors that can be placed throughout the house so that you don't have to give a voice command or push a button to turn the lights on. It will just automatically turn on or off when you're either in the room or when you leave the room. Smart plugs are also very popular with our members. They're really easy to use. Essentially, you plug in a non-smart device, so maybe a lamp or a fan, and then now you can control it independently, which is great. And these I have all over my house. They turn on my computer, my wheelchair charger, my fish tank, my fan. They're very versatile. So even in this 27-degree heat, I'm still cold. And so that's where smart thermostats really come into play. For our members that physically can't reach the thermostat on the wall, this is a wonderful solution. You can set routines, so at certain times a day, the temperature will change. For example, maybe at night you'd like the temperature to be a little bit colder than in the day. But also, if you're getting a hot flash or a bit of a chill, these are wonderful devices where on the fly you can say, "Hey, turn the temperature up. I'm cold," and it will briefly turn the temperature up for a short period of time. I know I do, many of us, they do. We love watching TV. And this particular device, the Amazon Fire TV Cube, is probably my favorite. It plugs into any television. It doesn't have to be a smart TV, and you can control it hands-free. So no more remotes. You can turn the TV on, adjust the volume, change the channel, and it even works with your setup boxes like Telus and Rogers. For the most part, they're a little bit buggy. They don't work 100%, but you should be able to change channels and open the guide and whatnot. Smart curtains and smart blinds are also really cool and very easy to set up. For smart curtains, essentially this little robot clips onto your curtain rod and it drags the curtain back and forth. And again, these can be set up on an automation. So maybe at sunset, you want the curtains to close. And then maybe in the morning, you give a good morning command, and then all the curtains and blinds can open up in your bedroom and living room. Privacy is so important, and I really love this smart lock. It's made by August. We have a number of different manufacturers, but this one is my favorite for the time being, and it's really easy to install. And the best part is not only can I lock and unlock the door, like my front door by voice, but I can also give permission to my caregivers, and I can make it very specific where, let's say, my caregiver, Sarah, can have access to my door Monday, Tuesday, and Friday only from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. because that's when they come on shift. And then when they move on, if that happens, then I can revoke that permission and give it to somebody else, which is really, really neat. This is probably one of my favorite devices. It's called a SwitchBot bot, and essentially it's a smart finger. So you can stick it onto pretty much anything. Here's an example placed onto a coffee maker, and it has a little robot finger that extends to push a button. And these are really helpful for maybe turning on a computer or turning on an air conditioner or something that isn't smart that you physically have to push the button. These are really, really handy. Just recently, we started providing gaming controllers or adaptive gaming controllers to be specific. And here are two examples. The left one is for PlayStation, and the right one is for Xbox. We also have adaptations for Nintendo Switches. So if you're a gamer and you'd love to have a little bit more independence, please reach out and we'd be happy to help. Now, in the beginning, I said that most of our devices are at no cost, and this is a little bit of an exception, and I'll tell you why. So, our automatic door opener program is a completely separate program, and well, frankly, these are very expensive. And so we want to make sure that they're going to the right home. And there's a separate application that you would need to complete. And in there, it asks for your financials. Now, if you are able to financially afford to pay for a portion of the door opener, then we ask that you do. But if you're unable to, then we will cover the cost 100%. Then we have a ton of different smart home tech, and we love talking about it. So we created a YouTube channel called We Talk Tech, and this is hosted by Wayne and myself. And every month we not only talk about gizmos and gadgets, but also connecting with our members and people in the community to really showcase how technology is helping people be more independent at home. We also have a virtual monthly social group called the Peer Hub. It's the first Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. And I welcome you to join us. It's a very relaxed environment where people can learn from each other. In April, we had our Simon Cox Student Design competition, which we hold every year. The next one will be in April of 2026. And this is an opportunity for our members to connect with students from different colleges and universities to create innovative solutions. So if you have any ideas on what you would like designed that isn't currently on the market, send us an email and we'd be happy to connect you with students to help bring that project to life. Okay, so this is the point of the presentation where I talked about devices that we're not currently offering, but I think are so cool that I had to mention it. The first one is this Akara presence sensor. And earlier I was chatting about motion sensors. Well, this is like a motion sensor on steroids. It's able to not only track multiple people in the same room, but also you can set up different zones. So let's say you had a lamp by the couch. Every time you were close to the couch, then that light would turn on. And then if you have a light in another part of the room, maybe by your desk, every time you drove up to your desk, then that light would turn on. So I think this technology has a ton of potential. We're not providing them just yet, but I hope as the technology is more refined, that we will be in the future. These are the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, and I actually bought a pair of these a few months ago, and they were really cool. They cost around $400 to $500 Canadian, and they're I don't know. I'm a nerd and I love new and innovative tech, and I just found these to be extremely fascinating. They have a built-in camera, microphone, and speakers, so you can take photos, take video, you can listen to music, make phone calls, receive text messages. But I think that the coolest thing for me is that not only is there a physical button on the side of them, but you can also control them by voice. And that's the part I had so much fun with, is being able to drive around and look at things and say, hey, Meta, what am I looking at? Or hey, Meta, send a text message. I think that over the next couple of years, smart glasses are going to become very popular, and I'm really looking forward to future advances. Next up is the Apple Vision Pro. Now, this is a mixed reality headset that has a ton of accessibility features. And one of my favorites is being able to look at icons on the screen and then being able to click on them completely hands-free. You are able to connect a switch or a button to it to make it a little bit faster. But I think it's really exciting to see these big companies creating solutions for not only those who are able-bodied, but also people with various disabilities. Now, don't get your hopes up. These are very expensive. I think they're around $5,000. But again, this is just a stepping stone, and I'm really excited to see what Apple comes up with next. This is my buddy Taylor and his robotic arm. He has a Jayco arm connected to his wheelchair, and he's able to control it using his wheelchair joystick and some switches. I think this is amazing. Like I'm so impressed every time I see Taylor using his arm because the level of precision is absolutely incredible. He can pick up a key and put it into a lock. How cool is that? For those who haven't heard, Neuralink has come up with a brain-computer interface, and this is a very small implant that is surgically implanted into the brain, and the idea behind it is to be able to think commands and then have a computer respond. So right now they're doing trials where they're inserting these into individuals with spinal cord injuries and ALS, and they're able to control their computer completely hands-free just by thinking it. They can move the mouse around and left click and right click. How cool is that? I think this technology again has so much potential, and I really am excited for the day when somebody with a disability can have a very simple procedure done, have something like this implanted into their brain, and then be able to, just by thought, control their wheelchair, control their smart home, control their phone, their wheelchair, their computer, all sorts of devices. I think this is going to be an absolute game changer for so many of us. I always like to thank our generous donors for allowing us to provide those services and support that we do. So thank you to everyone who's a donor. And if you have any questions about our services or just technology in general, please feel free to visit our website or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for that presentation. It was very information packed. As the point of the session where we open it up to questions, I don't know if anyone has any questions for Ian.
It's Linda, and it's really not a question, but a comment. But I'm going to say that I was recently in the hospital and I worked with a nurse whose father had ALS, and technology for independent living set him up that he could turn his TV on with his eyes, which I thought was absolutely amazing because he didn't have any more use of his hands and he could turn his TV on using his eyes.
That's
That's
amazing.
like,
Yeah, pretty amazing, and pretty amazing what you guys do.
it is. No,
Thanks
no,
for
I love it.
Thanks for sharing that, Linda. Terry, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Linda. That's really cool to hear. I do have a question, kind of about a little bit about those glasses. I think they're
Yes.
cool. I had heard that I don't know if it's these glasses, Ian, or something else, but there's a set of glasses you can put on that actually do translations. So if a person is speaking in a different language, you can hear it in your language.
Yes. Yeah, they just actually updated the meta glasses so that they are able to translate.
Okay, so do these glasses that you were showing there have that, the new version have that capability?
They do, yes. And then there's also Google has just released another a pair very similar that have a heads-up display projected on the glasses, and so you're able to not only hear a translation but also see translations, which I think is so cool.
That's so cool.
Tom has a question in the chat. Are there any useful eye tracker devices for operating a desktop?
Yeah, so we Technology for Living doesn't provide eye tracking hardware, but I know I've used Tobii eye tracking for my computer, and I found that it worked very well. And then if you do have an eye tracking system, as Linda mentioned, we're more than happy to integrate it into your smart home, so you can control your TV, etc.
Ian, I was just going to add for people to know that I have trouble turning my computer on because it's a tiny button way at the back that I can't reach. And TIL have set it up that Alexa, if I talk to Alexa and say, Alexa, turn the monitor on, then my computer comes on.
So
Obviously,
yeah,
yes, up. I mean, it's, Ace who came to set it up. It's balanced on um, a pad of stickies and an empty bottle from the body shop. And as long as nobody messes my stuff up, they say, well, I'm going to move these stickies. I said, no, you're not. Move those stickies. I can't get the computer out. But they come up with just amazing things to make it work.
yeah, it's all about coming up with creative solutions, and that's something that our biomeds and technicians really pride themselves on is that we've been helping people with disabilities for over 50 years, and so not to brag, but we're really good at what we do, and we've seen so many problems that we can solve. So no matter how big or small of a problem you have in the home, I really suggest that you reach out and see if we can help you.
And Ian, sometimes you don't even think it's a problem until somebody presents to you that I now have my bedside table lamp on Alexa. So when I'm in bed reading at night, I don't have to reach over, which I can't do anyway. But I just say, Alexa, turn the bedroom light off, and off it
Yeah,
goes. And
yeah, it can be something that simple. You're right. That's
yeah, it can be something really simple that you don't even realize is available to you.
yeah,
The
yeah.
one
That's
that I'm really keen on is you turn the dining light on and I can dim it to 50% if I've
yeah.
got a dimmer switch. I know.
I know. No,
Yeah,
that's right.
I just going to throw something else in. There's something you can set up on Alexa, say whose turn. And all my grandchildren were staying with me a couple of years ago. And I set it up with a friend on whose turn. And it says, Ryland's turn to set the table. And he'll say, Grandma, it's not my turn. I did it yesterday. I said, not me saying that. It's Alexa telling you that. Then it says, it's Taryn's turn to empty the dishwasher. She said, it's not my turn. I said, don't blame me. Somebody else is telling you. So sometimes you can play some little tricks with Alexa too, if you get somebody to help you set it up.
That's funny. And that's actually a really good point that I didn't mention is that our biomeds and technicians are here to set up all of the equipment. So don't feel intimidated by it. We're here to help. Whether it's setting it up or virtually or coming to your home and installing the hardware and teaching you how to use it, that's really what we're here for.
Amazing. Tom has another question in the chat. He just asked, I use a very old device which allows me to operate my desktop with Morse code, sip and puff. I may die soon. Does anyone know any alternatives?
It's funny that you asked that.
Sorry, it may die soon. Sorry, that was a typo when I read it. It might die soon.
I don't know of any Morse code solutions, but there is a group, a Facebook group called AT Makers, that's based out of Florida, and I would join their Facebook group and ask them if they have any ideas. And then I'm pretty sure you already have, but there's always the makers making change for Niels Fryer. I would reach out to them as well to see if they have anybody that can come up with a customized solution for you.
Terry?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do they still, Neil Squire came up with that lip sync device, right? That uses sip and puff, I think, I don't know if they still have that available.
They do. I'm actually using one right now. It's in front of me.
What is the
what's the name of the group?
Well, there's AT Makers, that's Assistive Technology Makers, and that's the Facebook group on in the United States. And then there's Makers Making Change, which is part of Niels Fryer. Yeah, I think there are a ton of different solutions out there for computer access. I wouldn't be discouraged. You just have to find what works for you, and it might be an off-the-shelf solution. It might be a customized solution, but I think between those two groups, AT Makers and and Makers Making Change, I think that one of them should be able to help you with that.
And question, sorry. Tetra Society, do they do anything about that kind of stuff? I don't think they're very electrical, but they might make.
Yeah, so Tetra does provide custom solutions for people with disabilities. They did have a device a few years ago that was developed for computer access. But unfortunately, I believe the project has been discontinued.
And Tom just has a comment in the chat saying that he really likes Morse code and it has worked well for 30 years.
Yeah.
Which is great to hear.
Yeah, honestly, if that's your preference, reach out to AT Makers and MMC and see if somebody has already developed the system. And if not, I feel fairly confident that somebody would be able to recreate it for you, because it's very like the coding itself to program something for Morse code really isn't that complex. And I've seen these groups develop custom solutions that are far more advanced than this. So I feel fairly confident that they would be able to help you. And Tom, if you're running into a roadblock, shoot me a message and I'll connect you with some people directly at both of those organizations.
Awesome. And then I just have a question. Is there any point in in the year, the seasons where there's like a waiting list for people to become a member to get any of these services?
No, like our turnaround time is very quick, within a couple business days, except for the automatic door opener, because we do have a limited amount that we can offer per year. Then there is from time to time a waiting list for that. But all of our other services is a very quick turnaround time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ian, for taking the time to come and share that information with us today. Really appreciate it. And yeah, everyone else who's joined today.